ChatGPT, write me an essay about the dangers of AI.
A new technology that is making it easier to cheat. It's called ChatGPT. It's a chatbot that runs on artificial intelligence, and it can do pretty much anything you tell it to do, from solving a complex math problem to writing essays on nearly any topic.
Recently, it's been the focus of a lot of schools' worries. But for Metea, English department head Mr. Solgos claims it's a challenge that's already being conquered.
If we're doing good instruction, we can beat ChatGPT. I think it could be really valuable to give students essays generated by this and revise this essay, put some voice into it, add it, make it better, make it human. They created a sample set of essays that they said were student essays and asked the students to evaluate them. And all three of those samples were from ChatGPT.
Outside of the Metea sphere, schools across the country are accepting ChatGPT rather than rejecting it. Muhammad Alam, an assistant professor of CS and the deputy director of the AI program at Northwestern, shares his experience.
We were not going to fight this because first of all, it was here to stay. And number two, it's not all that bad. We were quick to think, instead of fighting this, how can we let them use ChatGPT and still gain the learn the material and the skills that they need to learn.
In fact, some professors are even requiring the use of ChatGPT.
Even though it's not their writing, as long as it's their thought, it's fine.
Professor Alam believes that there's something to be learned from ChatGPT, but also recognizes its faults.
My experience with ChatGPT has been, it doesn't just write things. You see it. Of course, you're going to read it, right? You're going to learn from it. It's very educational as well, and it can fail very often. It can even utter garbage with confidence, misinformation with confidence.
Mr. Solgos agrees and notes how the system can often fail to create something good, or rather, something human.
It's actually really difficult to get a great essay. One of the strengths that the human brings to the conversation is the human voice. We humans, we can come up with cadence and rhythm, and we can make rhetorical choices.
Junior Mrigisha Shukla is well aware of this and believes that Mr. Solgos's and Professor Alam's approach is the right thing to do.
If we can find out a way that you can use ChatGPT in the classroom, we definitely should, because I can see it being beneficial for students. It kind of blew my mind how much AI has grown over time.
Mrigisha's not alone. AI has become a matter of public debate, spurring conversations on ethics, academic dishonesty, and even economics. But what exactly is ChatGPT, and why are we so scared of it? Let's break it down.
ChatGPT is not the first of its kind, by no means. ChatGPT is based on GPT 3.5. These were all coming out of OpenAI. These things are called large language models, which are basically AI systems that are meant to model human language, right? To understand and to be able to generate language.
So ChatGPT has been around for a while, but why is it becoming popular now? Well, we can blame everyone's favorite culprit, Twitter. But beyond that, Professor Alam notes that it is worth having conversations about.
There was a time when a lot of this was science fiction. A lot of this was many decades away. So people had philosophical discussions about how things might play out ethically. That discussion has become real now because it's no longer science fiction. It's become very, very much science.
So let's talk about another subtopic, superintelligence. Proposed through the novel by Nick Bostrom, superintelligence is when AI will take over the world and become sentient. Think The Matrix.
In theory, the science says that it should be possible for machine intelligence to surpass human intelligence and become what is called superintelligence. And once that happens, it's a game over for us, right? In theory, because we have no idea what that can be like, how far that can go.
Although Professor Alam agrees it is just another theory in the world of AI, he still sees ethical debates as vital.
But should we be careful? Should we be talking about these things, about the possibility of superintelligence and dangers to humankind? Absolutely. There is no reason why we shouldn't talk about it. And one proof is ChatGPT and things that are coming out. We don't know exactly why they work. Or in a way, you can actually say we don't know exactly how they work.
He's absolutely right. AI programs are coming out almost monthly or weekly and becoming better and better at what they do. Now that it's in front of our faces, it's time to start learning how to get ahead of it.
That is a big possibility in AI. So yes, when people say it can harm us or we can lose jobs, all of these things are real, but not necessarily in the way that they're always talked about. Oh, AI is going to take all our jobs. Not all our jobs, but a lot of our jobs. But that happened when the car was invented, when the plane was invented, when a lot of things were invented, right? It's going to happen again with AI.
It can even be a comment on human civilization itself. What does it say about us if we're creating these ultra-powerful systems that mimic us? Are we bringing upon our own impending doom? Professor Alam says no.
And it can go in the wrong direction in two ways. One is, we create something that's just that powerful, and intelligence just becomes super intelligence. The other way is that we get it wrong. We just make it in the wrong way. We don't think about safety. We don't think about responsibility. And we cause harm to ourselves by making the wrong thing, not because the AI was dangerous, but because we used it in a dangerous way. So I am not saying that we should not blame ChatGPT and blame us. That is not the point. The point is to say that we have to ask the right questions. What is ChatGPT doing? Why is it doing it? What are we training it on? Does it tell us about ourselves? There are many discussions to be had.
Besides all of the nihilistic discussion, ChatGPT's most imminent issue rests in the classroom.
Does it add increased frustration because it's yet another opportunity for students to cheat? Sure. But I don't think it's any worse than when we had something like Spark Notes.
To Mr. Solgos, it's yet another obstacle in the way of learning that we can easily turn around and see as a gift in disguise.
There's no mystery around this anymore. If we're going to try to pretend like it doesn't exist, we're going to lose that game. We're going to win if we can acknowledge its existence and find ways to teach students how to think critically and how to write critically.
And just note, if you think AI is working hard to create your writing, Google Classroom always works harder.
And I just want you to know, students, that the Google Classroom Originality Report is actually pretty sophisticated. We're watching you. Big Brother is watching you.
For the Main, this is Nanyu Gunesi.